And my friends, Teddy Lim here from Project Limitless, and today I wanted to share with you the top 3 reasons why poor people have issues with receiving and having feelings of unworthiness. Okay? T. Harv Eker says the number 1 reason most people do not reach their full potential is because most people are poor receivers, right? People are challenged by receiving for several reasons. First is that many people feel unworthy or deserving, where it feels as if receiving is a painful feeling versus a pleasurable one. It's supposed to be a pleasurable feeling, matter of fact, right? Many people feel unworthy or undeserving is because of conditioning, right? Have you ever received a warm, heartfelt compliment and immediately felt the feeling that you had to throw back a compliment? Or have you ever received a gift and all of a sudden you feel like there's this slight uncomfortable, painful feeling, And T. Harv says that it's based out of a lot of our conditioning, because when we were growing up, right, we were conditioned to believe that, hey, you have to share this or share that, or you can't have too much, right? Most of us grew up in an environment of really having to share and not really own up to all the gifts that we have, right? Second reason is a lot of us grew up in an environment of punishment, meaning that when we make mistakes, we are punished, by our parents, by our teachers, religion, or even our society, right? Making mistakes is not encouraged. It's actually punished. What's funny is you actually make the most progress in your life when you find a wrong way to do something, right? Isn't that interesting? The big problem with that is, that culture and that environment of punishment, it doesn't go away when we grow up or when we're adults. So when people make a mistake, they just feel like they're not perfect, they're not whole, and they subconsciously punish themselves, right? Today, it could take the form of, you're not worthy or you're bad, so you're not supposed to make any money, right? Or you don't deserve all of this award, which in some terms could actually prevent you from doing the work that's necessary for you to get the money or the type of compensation that you want anyway, right? And this explains why people limit their earnings too. Why other people, or why most people would subconsciously sabotage their success, right? Either they just settle for a really low standard, or when they start becoming successful, they shoot themselves down. They find some sort of escape or mistake to do in order to sabotage that success, right? So it isn't a wonder why people have difficulty receiving. One tiny mistake, and that you convince yourself that you are, or that you've done, and you're subject to a life of just punishment, and you're doomed to carry the burden of all this misery and this poverty for the rest of your life, right? And there's one conclusion I can get from this, and that is, the mind is not our friend, right? It's filled with a lot of past programming and stories and made-up dramas of disaster, right? Can you imagine how it would be if you're driving down the road and what you actually saw in your windshield was your rearview mirror? It's funny. It's one of those really powerful metaphors that was shared to me early in my entrepreneurial career, where we do this every day. We do this every day that we live our lives. We just can't stay in the now. We just can't live in the now and just be and just really live our lives like we're driving, and what we're seeing is actually what we see out there in our windshield, versus using this big ass rear view mirror and putting it right, like it's like glasses, it's like blinders that we put on ourselves, right? And really it's neither a good thing or a bad thing, but it's just our brain's antiquated way of really protecting us, right? So we can't be mad at ourselves, or we can't be mad at our brains for thinking that way. It's just it's a survival mechanism, right? So in the end, T. Harv Eker says that it doesn't matter whether you feel worthy or not. You could be rich either way, and then that's true. I've made a lot of money when I was feeling shitty about myself, and I've also made a lot of money when I was feeling great about myself, right? The only difference is, in matter of fact, is plenty of wealthy people don't feel worthy, right? There's also a lot of wealthy people that feel worthy, right? A fact is, a lot of people want to be rich so they can prove that they are worthy, right? It's just not just the most pleasurable way to do it. You know what I mean? So and as I said, I made a lot of money when I felt good about myself. I made a lot of money when I was feeling crappy about myself. So the moral of the story is, it doesn't matter whether you feel you're worthy or not, right? It's just all made up in our head. So no one can come up with, stamping you as somebody who's worthy or not worthy, right? It's just not the most pleasurable thing to do when you're trying to, you're putting all this energy towards a goal, and yet you feel crappy about yourself, right? So just feel worthy right now. Just feel worthy. Feel grateful that you are in this world, that you were given this life, that you are given this consciousness, that you were given all these limited unconscious resources. You were put here for a reason, and it's not up to you to determine whether you're worthy or not, but it is all up to you in order to tell that higher sense that you are worthy. Okay, you alone are going to determine whether you're going to be worthy or not. So if you are, if you're worthy, step into that worthiness. And because the truth of the matter is, you step in and you live up to the story that you made up in your head. Okay, it's just that simple, guys. So the reason why I built this blog, and the reason why I'm making all these videos, is really to encourage a lot of people, and encourage my friends and viewers, and really be a source of inspiration. So if you're in the same goal, if you're looking to be a part of a community that is committed to being the best that they can and really helping other people do the same, click on the link below and join me. Join me in this journey of really developing your inner gifts, developing all the creativity, and developing all the individuality that you can in order to make this world a better place. All right? So thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Cheers.